Here's the thing, guys. You don't need to know what happens next. Mark Douglas said that outright, and most retirees that I've talked to hear it, and they immediately push back. But here's the thing: out of 20 trades, 14 can still be winners and six losses, six losers, and you never know which ones are which beforehand. Now, that's not a flaw in your plan, that's just the plan working. That idea right there is the core of Mark Douglas's third fundamental truth from trading in the zone. There is a random distribution between wins and losses for any given set of variables that define an edge. Now, most people hear that sentence and their brain just slides right off it. So let's break it apart for you piece by piece. Because once you actually get this, it changes the way you look at every single trade you take. And honestly, it changes the way you sleep at night. But first, I need to explain why most retirees and other traders out there and near retirees out there get this completely wrong from the start. Because the mistake isn't what you think it is, and it's costing them more than they realize. Here's the problem: you spend 30, 40 years in a career where being right mattered. You studied, you prepared, you executed, and the outcome matched the effort. That's how jobs work, right? That's how promotions work. So when you sit down to manage your nest egg or trade a position of it for income, your brain carries that same expectation over. If I studied the chart hard enough, if I find the right indicator, if I watch enough analysis, I should know what will happen next. And when a trade loses, it feels personal. It feels like you made a mistake, like you missed something, like you failed. The feeling is the trap. Mark Douglas pointed this out directly. He said traders who think they know what's going to happen next are lying to themselves. That's not me being harsh. That's Douglas's own language. And the reason it stings is because it's true. Every moment in the market is unique and it's independent. As Douglas put it, what happened yesterday, what happened an hour ago, has zero obligation to repeat itself right now. The market doesn't owe you consistency just because your setup look clean. So here's where it gets interesting. If you can't know what happens on any single trade, how do you make money? That's the question I see everywhere in the Reddit threads, YouTube comments from people working through trading in the zone. How can I make money if I don't know what happens next? It's the natural question in the world. And the answer is exactly what Douglas built his entire third truth around. Think about it this way: you walk into a casino. The casino doesn't know if the next hand of blackjack will win, right? Will it be a win or a loss for the house? They have no idea. But they know that over 1,000 hands, the math is always in their favor. They don't sweat individual hands. They don't fire the dealer after a losing streak. They just keep dealing because the edge plays out over time, every single time. That's trading psychology. That's the real edge. Not some fancy indicator, not a secret chart pattern nobody else has seen. The edge is your ability to accept that each individual outcome is unknowable and then follow your rules anyway without flinching. Douglas described an edge as something that indicates a higher probability of one thing happening over another, not a certainty, a probability. And probabilities only reveal themselves over a series of events, not a single one. Never. That's not a caveat. That's the whole point. Once that clicks, something shifts. You stop white knuckling every trade. You stop staring at the screen hoping the candle goes your way. You start following your rules with the calmness of a chef who knows that not every plate leaves the kitchen perfect, but the restaurant still thrives every single night. That chef doesn't throw out the recipe because one steak came out medium instead of medium rare, does he? The recipe works. You trust the recipe, you just keep cooking. Now, here's the part that separates retirees who actually protect their nest egg, from those who slowly blow it up. It's mindset. The moment you demand certainty from a single trade, you override your own system. You move your stop loss. You double down on a loser. You skip a valid setup because the last one burned you. As one analysis of Douglas's work put it, anything can happen in the market. So traders should not feel attached to any single outcome. The second you get attached, that's where accounts bleed out. Not in one dramatic explosion, slowly, over one overridden rule at a time. One, I'll just hold this a little bit longer. And if you're near retirement or already are in it, you don't have decades to recover from that slow bleed. You need capital working for you, not getting chipped away by emotional decisions, dressed up as a strategy adjustment, right? That distinction matters more at this stage of life than at any other. So if trading psychology is the real edge and mindset keeps you from sabotaging that edge, what actually turns a random distribution of wins and losses into steady results over time? Risk management. That's the third piece, and it ties everything together. You size each position knowing that a loss isn't a failure, it's just one tile in a larger mosaic that still pays you over time. Douglas's principles of consistency include predefining the risk every trade before you enter, not after, not when you're emotional and the position is moving against you, before, when you're calm and thinking clearly and your ego isn't involved yet. When you predefine your risk and you generally accept that you cannot know whether this particular trade wins or loses, something powerful happens. You stop arguing with the market. You stop feeling threatened by price movement. You start interacting with the market from the market's perspective instead of your ego's perspective. And that is precisely what Douglas meant. When he talked about trading in the zone, you're operating in the now moment, not dragging baggage with you from the last trade, not projecting fear into the next one, just executing right now with rules that you trust and a process you've committed to. Consistent execution over being correct. That's the shift. That's what long term results actually look like. Not a highlight reel of perfect trades, a boring, steady, reliable process where the statistical edge plays out because you had the discipline to let it. If you like this video, then subscribe to my channels for more videos on trading psychology, mindset, and risk management.